To succeed in this 21st century today, you have to be an individual who is ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Hello Africa, you're welcome to yet another beautiful edition of your favorite program, Managing Africa. I am Mebune. Today we're looking at innovations in education, and for that, our educational expert on today's edition of the program is Fotabe Elmine, the founder of Fotabe University. She's more. Stay with us and find out. The Fotabe University of Cameroon is a private higher educational establishment that was created in 2015 to pioneer the training of entrepreneurial leaders to become change agents in the African continent. They offer internationally accredited undergraduate, postgraduate and executive education in an innovative hands-on fashion. Funique identifies great potentials in passionate young people and harnesses them. The end result is rare skills in a young man or woman next door. Funique has trained professionals in every major sector of the country and awarded scholarships worth 300 million francs CFA. The institution has created unique learning models that guarantee job placement as well. Their vision is to see an African society where rare skills are found in common people and where no one is unemployed or flee from home because of poverty. Funique's mission is to train 1 million men and women from across Africa by 2035 to develop their communities in an ethical and dignifying manner. The Fotabe University of Cameroon, Funique, was founded by Cameroonian social entrepreneur Fotabe Elmine. Welcome back, die-hard viewers of Managing Africa. Joining us on set today is Madame Fotabe Elmine. She is the founder of Fotabe University. She's a lot more, which you'll be discovering on the program. It is a pleasure having you on board, Madame.
Thank you very much for having me, Nadine.
Now, you have been able to come up with something as great as Fotabe University, which is a higher education, helping so many people in Cameroon. What is your drive? What's your motivation? Why did you decide to come up with something like that?
Thank you very much for that question. It's very important to me because I like to talk about my story. Okay. I was young, living with my parents, and I loved going to school. My parents did not have all the means in the world to give us the kind of education that I saw my friends having when we were children. Mm-hmm. So we went to government schools. Okay. When we grew a bit older, we went to mission schools. Mm-hmm. And then from high school, I started thinking that I needed to help people get a good education. But then the real drive, the real strong motivation came when I returned to Cameroon the first time from Italy, where I studied. Okay. I realized that there was, and there still is, a huge skills gap in our country. Okay. That is, a lot of people go to school, mm-hmm. Acquire certificates, but skills are really, really absent. And this, I think, is one of the reasons why we are still grappling with very disturbing levels of unemployment in our country. And so I thought, well, to help Cameroonians acquire skills, we need to create a platform mm-hmm. that promotes the kind of education which is skill-based, even at the tertiary level. Because what I saw growing up is that if you want your children to acquire skills, yes. then you would embrace TVET. When we were young, we knew of technical schools. There's what they used to call SAR-SM, that's yes. vocational training. Mm-hmm. And we thought that if a young person wanted to acquire skills, then you had to pursue that path. But in my mind, I thought even at the tertiary level, we can create an institution that will help Cameroonians acquire the knowledge and the certification that are very important, mm-hmm. but also the skills that will need them they will need to be able to get into the job market and achieve their goals of having good jobs and reducing unemployment. So my drive is really to see that more and more Cameroonian youth acquire skills, not just knowledge and certificate. And this is what keeps me going every day. That also explains why you would find that our programs are not just theory.
Yeah.
The way we have designed our programs, we make sure that students who pass through the Fotabe University of Cameroon do not just live with qualifications and knowledge, but especially with skills that can make them stand out on the job market. This is my real drive.
I was about to ask how Fotabe University is different, what it is doing that is different.
Well, one of the things I just mentioned already is that we make sure that our programs are skill-based. You know, today it's not uncommon to hear a lot of people say that they are offering entrepreneurship education. But if you look at it critically, it is theory. I am an entrepreneur. I've been for more than a decade, close to 2 decades. I know that entrepreneurship is never taught as a course.
Yeah.
We ensure that all our students have the opportunity of touching firsthand what business and entrepreneurship is, not just listening to lectures. For example, our HND students resume school, and for the first 14, 15 days or so, they are there on the field. They observe businesses, not just any kind of business. We make sure that these businesses have been created and are run by the Igbo people from Nigeria and the Bamileke people from Cameroon. And this is because their models work. So we put this young people at the center of those businesses to actually understand how these businesses are run. That is before they even sit in the classroom. So they get to understand all of that. By the time they return to the classroom to start lectures, they understand the business world. And every day they apply the knowledge that they get from their lecturers to the scenarios, the situations that they saw out there. This is one of the ways we ensure that we prepare them for the world of business and even employment. After that, of course, they come to class and they learn the theory. But during their time with us, all our students are supposed to start businesses that they run on campus. I don't think that this is done anywhere else. And these students, firsthand, they go through all the hurdles of starting businesses, you know, from the concept to raising their own capital, to selling whatever they've produced, to keeping their records, to marketing and communication, everything. So it means that every course that is taught in the classroom is practiced out of classroom. This is for HND. For the other vocational training programs, we ensure that our students go through a 1-month, very intensive boot camp. From there, they are placed to work in organizations for 12 months to acquire working experience that normally graduates do not have. So we do a lot of things to give practical skills, real practical skills to the people we teach, because this is the only way we can make a difference. Everyone gives them theory. It is good to give theory. We do give that. In fact, I think that we have amazing lecturers, amazing faculty from around Africa who mold our students, give them the knowledge, up-to-date knowledge that they need. But most especially, we want to make sure that they do not leave Fotabe University of Cameroon having just knowledge and certificates, but having especially the skills that will help them either to create employment for themselves and others, or to get the kind of jobs that they've always dreamt of.
That's awesome. Now let's look at the contributions. I mean, it's very clear and you've already said quite a lot, but to just spell it out, what are some of the contributions of Fotabe University to societal development?
That's a very interesting question. Thank you for that. See, I just talked about 2 things. One, we help our students or we mold our students better still to create employment for themselves and for other people. You know, the biggest societal problem that any emerging economy and even a very developed economies would face is unemployment. Jobs, it's always about jobs.
True.
And if we are molding Cameroonians today who are creating jobs for themselves and creating jobs for other people, that's I think it's very important. Yeah. Besides that, see, we have diagnosed that businesses in Cameroon have a problem of continuity once their founders are no longer there. This is because we have focused over the past decade to train entrepreneurs, which is good, we do that too. But we cannot always train entrepreneurs without training intrapreneurs. Because entrepreneurs will create the concepts, create the businesses, create the organizations, but intrapreneurs are the ones who come and run those businesses and continue to run those organizations, even when the founders are not there. Not just any kind of employee, but intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs are these people who have the entrepreneurial mindset, but they work for entrepreneurs. So they're actually the ones who move these organizations forward. And we create these intrapreneurs, and we see them every day hired by businesses across this country. And that alone is a huge achievement, because it simply means that we are working towards building sustainable business organizations created by Cameroonians for Cameroonians in Cameroon. And this is a huge achievement. So irrespective of how you want to look at it, we are contributing to nation building. But that's just about jobs.
Yes.
Now, looking at lots of other ills in our society, we have hate speech, we have illegal migration. All those are ills that we have to sit down and have conversations about. And we have been doing quite a lot over the years, even though sometimes not directly as Fotabe University, sometimes even with our partners. And just to mention, Nadine, that I have an association, which is ASPRODEC, the Association for the Promotion of Decent Work for Women and Girls. And in collaboration with Fotabe University of Cameroon, we run programs to discourage illegal migration, because we think that there is a lot that people can do here. And we think that if we want to promote decent work, dignity of the human race, especially for women and girls, we have to be able to give them alternatives, right? Dignifying alternatives back here. So we don't just tell people, don't struggle to travel abroad at all costs, die at sea, die in the desert. We don't just tell them that, but we show them viable alternatives here, that you can stay here and still get this done. So we have a lot of training programs. Sometimes we promote women, we tell stories of successful women. We make sure that young girls have mentors. And most especially, we give them seed capital to be able to start initiatives here that can sustain them and discourage them from going abroad to look for greener pastures. This is one thing that we really do, which I think is very important. Something else that we do is actually helping young Cameroonians, not just women and girls, every young Cameroonian to have a good education. Today, to have a good education means that you're going in for professional education, as we call it here. And professional education is not affordable to everyone. But what we have done over the years is to create a lot of scholarship opportunities for young Cameroonians, young boys, young girls, even working professionals. And the last we checked, we have given out scholarships worth more than 300 million francs CFA.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
We think that this is the best way we can give back to our society. This is the best way we can contribute to the economic development of this country, giving people a good education, which is not always very affordable. But Fotabe University of Cameroon is a community university, meaning that our whole vision is to see a Cameroonian society where everyone can have a good education irrespective of their economic background. And this is what we've been doing over the years. So, yeah, tackling hate speech by the seminars and the trainings that we run every day, helping women and girls to have dignifying jobs and find alternatives, providing financial support, And even right now, we just launched a scholarship for girls in STEM because we are wanting to encourage young girls to take up computer engineering.
Okay.
And so we launched another scholarship this year. So these are the things, some of the things that we do to support our communities and to contribute to the development of our country.
Awesome. Let's look at some of the challenges you come across, because I don't think going on this journey is just smooth. Mm-hmm. Definitely you have come across challenges, mm-hmm. but what are some of them?
Well, yes, every journey has their challenges. The biggest challenge I think that we face is the mindset.
Okay.
The mindset of parents, mm-hmm. the mindset of students, mm-hmm. the community. We believe that providing a good education has nothing to do with, or very little to do with just sumptuous infrastructure. That is important, mm-hmm. but that is not supposed to be the focus.
Yes.
The focus is supposed to be the curriculum and then the people before the infrastructure. Of course, technology, when we are talking about the curriculum, I have to make sure that I specify that technology too is very important. And we have embraced this, the curriculum, the technology, and we're trying to get the right people in terms of the right faculty, administrators, and then the right students. But you see, the mentality here, people are still to come to terms completely with virtual education. Mm-hmm. People are still to come to terms with even the change that we're trying to bring. Because you'll be shocked, but parents and children in most cases care about one thing: go to school, have a certificate, look for a job. So when you start telling parents that these children have to start practicing entrepreneurship while in school, it's a challenge. Even the students do not want to do that. Mm-hmm. So you find that parents will still prefer to send their children where they will just go sit in class, listen to lectures, write exams, sometimes copy, have a certificate, and come out and start looking for jobs. When you tell them, no, we're not going to do this. If your child comes here, mm-hmm. your child is supposed to be coming to school on Saturdays because that's when they do their group entrepreneurship projects. Your child has to go out there to business organizations, look at the workable models, come back and work hard. Some parents don't embrace that. Mm-hmm. You'll be shocked. And some young people don't embrace that. And sometimes, because our society doesn't fully understand that, it makes our work very difficult.
Okay.
And so the biggest challenge right now is changing mindsets, helping people to understand that it's not all about seeing a very large campus somewhere, mm-hmm. but it's about asking, what can I get from there? Mm-hmm. So how do we get to change their mindsets? We are working on that, but it's something that I think people like you on your platform should be able to help us talk to parents. Things are changing.
Yes.
If we want our society to grow, if we want our children to create impact, yes. and to contribute to the economic development, then they have to stop doing the things that they've always done. They have to start embracing new things, and they have to put in the work. It's very important.
So looking at expansion projects at FUNIC, and if there is an opportunity for investment, mm-hmm. what are some of the projects that FUNIC is going to expand in, mm-hmm. if it has an opportunity to have investors invest in it?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and thank you very much. You know, many people, when they hear education, higher education, they don't think of investment. They think of maybe funding. Okay. And the interesting thing is that we embrace both. Expansion right now, you know, I talked about 4 elements that will make education worthwhile. Mm-hmm. I talked about the people, mm-hmm. I talked about technology, I talked about the curriculum, then I talked about infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Right now, I think we have 3, okay. and we are currently working on the 4th, which is infrastructure. So if I were to look at investment, I'll be looking at investment in infrastructure, okay. to create the kind of infrastructure that will help our students to be able to live together run projects together, create businesses on campus together, grow those businesses on campus, and we see them really big. Right now we do that, but on a small scale.
Okay.
So if I were looking at investment, I'll be looking at investment that will help us with this kind of expansion, infrastructure. Then technology as well. We have basic technology now. We have a virtual learning environment, and we're really pushing hard. We've always had, but technology keeps evolving every day. We would like to embrace latest technology, maybe audiobooks. Why not using AI to teach? Things that can help our students to be far ahead of their peers. Yesterday I was having a conversation with someone, and we're talking about energy, solar energy. Why don't we have our own infrastructure where we run everything on clean solar energy? This is going to be an example to our young people that we can invest and we can do business in this, because the best way to teach young people is to show them.
Yes.
So when they see that you're moving towards solar energy, it's something of the present. Many of them will want to be thinking of investing, getting into this. And so if we're looking at expansion, we're looking at expansion basically from those two angles. But I cannot also talk about expansion without talking about the people who will benefit from this expansion. What are we expanding for if we're not touching many more lives? If we're expanding, we're looking at touching many more lives, ensuring that Cameroonians from across this country can have the kind of education we are providing. But how can we do that? We need not just investment now, but also funding to help us provide more scholarships, especially to girls, because that is close to my heart, obviously, but also to young boys. Why not? Across this country. One of the organizations I created in 2015 is Make It Vocational Training Center.
Okay.
And Make It has a project right now that collaborates with Fotabe University of Cameroon to bring a basic education to kids in villages where there are no schools, there is no internet connectivity, and there is no electricity. So what we actually do is, like I spoke about before, all our students are involved in these projects, and our students are actually, phonics students are actually the ones running this project.
Okay.
And we've taken basic education already to a village in the southwest region. We donate solar chargers and tablets that those children can use to study, follow a curriculum.
So I was actually about to ask that, because recently we saw you giving out all these technological equipments to some children who cannot afford them, just to help them study, to bring education right in front of them in their houses. Definitely, this is an amazing project. Just give us tell us about it. Yes.
So, like I said, we are always thinking of ways of getting our students very involved in practical things. So for our postgraduate students, they work in cohorts, and every cohort has a project to run from scratch.
Okay.
So there is this particular cohort that is joining me to work on bringing this basic education to kids, not just kids who cannot afford, but kids actually who are in enclaved areas in Cameroon where they do not even have access to education. So Make It Vocational Training Center develop the technology, and we have a whole platform, and these students can study even without access to the internet. But now, how to take this solution to these children in remote villages, that is where Fotabe University students come in.
Okay.
And so they come in, they do all the feasibility studies, they do everything that you can think of, from getting to the communities, sensitizing the communities, taking this solution to communities, but most especially even raising funds to acquire the tablets and the solar chargers. So our students do that. And since you were asking of how people can invest or fund us, this is one way that people can fund us. Helping our students to acquire this practical knowledge in running projects, you know, working in teams, reaching out to vulnerable communities, and at the same time bringing basic education to these children in enclaved areas.
All right, great. So we're going to go a little bit away from Fotabe University now. I cannot let you go without asking you your own appraisal of the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Cameroon.
Thank you very much.
Cameroon and in Africa.
Thank you. I happen to be very much active in this ecosystem.
Yes.
We are doing a lot. I think that the entrepreneurship spirit is seen, it is felt, which is a good thing. I like it when I see young people every day wanting to do something in entrepreneurship. I love it. The only thing I keep telling them every day is, which is my mantra, is that you should learn if you aspire to earn. So learn first. There is a lot to learn about the market. There's a lot to learn about our legislation. There's a lot to learn about the problems and solutions that need very urgent solutions. Okay. If we do not target issues, problems that need urgent solutions, sometimes our entrepreneurial dreams just fade. So my appraisal is that we are doing quite a lot. We are moving towards the right direction. Okay. The work that has to be done is actually to provide more information to Cameroonians about the market legislation. There is information out there, but sometimes people do not know where to find that information. The government is working on that. You can see that the government has been working with individuals to actually structure this ecosystem in terms of incubators, how incubators are supposed to be structured and all of that, just to make sure that many young people get into entrepreneurship. But also, I think that even though the structures are in place, the mindset is quite good, the spirit is very alluring, we still have a lot to do in terms of access to finance. Access to finance, and this is a two-way thing. Access to finance, because most of our financial institutions do not yet have products specifically designed for startups, for young entrepreneurs. And then the young entrepreneurs, that's why I talked about learning if you aspire to earn, do not know what it means to prepare themselves to actually benefit from such support. So that, I think, is where a lot of work still has to be done. I think that the little things that we just have to do, this continuous education, like what you're doing right now, which I really admire, and this making information available, and making sure that we can always have energy, access to the internet is going to really push us towards the right direction. But I can't complain. I think that Africa is on the move.
Awesome. Now, what will be your advice to the viewers watching, the entrepreneurs watching, and even to the students and parents, the general population?
I wish I had a lot of time to talk to all these groups, but I will not have a lot of time, so I'm going to, in a few words, just say there are a lot of opportunities out there for everyone. For women and girls, there are lots of opportunities, but you have to start from somewhere. Believe in yourself, keep your dignity, work hard, and the results will come. For young entrepreneurs, learn if you aspire to earn. There is a lot to learn about yourself, what you are good at. Learn about the market, what opportunities are out there. Learn about the kind of technology that you can take advantage of. Learn about what your potential customers will need. There is a lot to learn. So learn if you aspire to earn. For students all across this country, I always tell young people, do not just think of which school I want to go to, but think of who should teach me. Who do I want as a mentor? And what do I want to live with besides my certificate and head knowledge? If you think in that direction, you're going to make the right choices in terms of school, but also in terms of a career path to follow. And to parents, let your children choose. Provide the guidance, the supports that you think they need. Be good examples, and then they are going to make the right choices. I think we have passed the stage of wanting to choose everything for our children. As a parent, I am saying that it is best when we guide our children towards the right direction and let them choose. All in all, there are lots of opportunities out there for everyone. Entrepreneurship is important. This is the backbone of every successful economy. Let your children get into entrepreneurship. It is important. And we are here to nurture, we are here to support, and we are calling on Cameroonians in Cameroon and out of Cameroon to also support us to give good education, not just to children in rural areas, but also to women, girls, boys who need a good education, who want a good education, but who cannot afford it. Thank you.
Just to let you know, by the way, televiewers, that I am an alumni of FUNIC, the Fotabe Entrepreneurial University, and I actually had my Masters of Business Administration in Marketing. It has been a pleasure having Madame Fotabe on set, Managing Africa today. And thank you very much for your insights. Thank you very much for being the Madame Fotabe that you are, being a very critical mind. These are the kind of minds that we like to promote here on Managing Africa, because we have a lot to teach out there. It's been a pleasure having you on set.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now we've come to the end of this edition of Managing Africa. Thank you very much for spending your time with us, and we hope that you grabbed something out of it. Continue watching Dash News, 6 p.m. Saturdays for more editions of the program. Have a lovely day.